Okay, I'm gonna start with like a tiny little exercise. Just patronize me, or patronize me. You know what I mean? Just like do it. Close your eyes, or don't. You're watching a YouTube video. I get you might not want to, but imagine yourself like 10, 20 years from now. Maybe imagine yourself after you've completed some big goal that you have in your mind. This is the person I'll be after that's done. After I am X, I will do Y, right? And I don't mean in terms of like after I land this job, I'm gonna go to Barbados. I don't even know Barbados actually, but you know, somewhere fancy like that. I'm not saying like that. That stuff, not so much. I'm talking about like identity. Like you going, after I have X number of dollars, then I'll start dressing how I want to dress. I'm rich and I won't care. Things like that, right? After I'm, older and more mature, maybe then I'll start talking how I want to talk or reading the books I want to read. It can be anything. These markers of identity that we place in the future because we think we can't accomplish them now. I want you to think about it. And I'm here to tell you, I think we should all start doing these like right now. Like I think we should stop thinking of things for the future. Not because I don't think we should think about the future. I think we should think about the future a lot. You guys know I think we should think about the future a lot. Like a good amount at least, right? Not so much because of that, but more so because there's nothing holding you back from doing them right. I want to give you an example of this, right? When I was younger, I did YouTube for the first time when I was like 9. I operated on that channel, doing reviews of my action figures in my room for better part of 4-ish years. Not like every day, but whenever I'd get a new action figure, I'd make a YouTube video, right? I had one of these do really well, actually, because I went to Target and I convinced the employee to give me a figure before it was supposed to be out. So I got an early review, and I said I had early access from Hasbro. I did not, but the video got like 3,000 views, right? So I showed it to one of my friends. He went to school. He showed it to a bunch of our friends, basically, and they all made fun of me, right? One of them actually followed me on Instagram, and I didn't notice for 3 months that he was commenting and liking, and I thought I just had a really good fan. But I was kind of right about that if you think about it. Because I did. He was a fan. Like, he was hating, but he was like a fan. You know what I mean? What's that quote? Make your haters your waiters at the table of success. That's what I was doing there. But anyways, I got bullied. I got bullied off of doing YouTube. This thing I really loved that I've always wanted to do. I mean, obviously, I'm doing it right now, right? I'm way older now, and I've come back to it. That's exactly what I promised myself back then. I said, when I'm older, when I don't have this squeaker voice, and when I don't care what my friends think about me, then I'll do YouTube again, and I'll owe it to my younger self. I guess that's in a way part of the reason I'm here right now, right? Because I was like, I promised myself I'm going to do it. The reality is, though, looking back now, that I should have just done it, right? Because we have this idea in our mind that like when we get to a certain stage in our life, we'll just be ready for something. We'll do something because it's time for it to be done. And that's not how anything ever works. I thought that like I was like, oh, when I'm in my late teens, I'll start doing YouTube, right? And I did. When I was like 16, I started doing it again on one of my other channels. And like I was terrible at it. But I thought, no, I'm older. I won't have that squeaker voice anymore. I'll be cool. I'll be, I'll have what it takes to do YouTube, when the reality is that I always had what it took to do YouTube, because all it takes is to start doing it. And I don't mean to only apply this to myself. I kind of don't like that this happens a lot in Paint and Talk, where it turns into like me doing just self-reflection time, and maybe it's not quite as applicable to all of you. But I think that if we take this story out of me doing YouTube, it's actually kind of the story of how a lot of us operate, how a lot of us go through our lives. Another really huge one for me was that I always told myself that I would start dressing the way I want to dress, because once I'm out of high school, I won't care what anyone thinks about me. I'll start dressing the way I want to dress. I did that. I 100% did that. Now, out of high school, I started dressing how I want to dress, started wearing the shoes I want to wear, started acting how I want to act. I started doing all that. And you know what I realized from like the first month of doing it? I totally could have been doing it in high school. Nobody cares. Nobody at all cares, right? Like it's not so much that I was like, doing something so crazy and bold that I was going to be made fun of for it. Maybe I'd get a little slack from somebody here and there, but you know what? it took me, after graduating high school, when I started dressing how I want to dress, like a whole year or two to actually be like, oh, I'm getting a little bit comfortable in my style. I'm still not all the way. And now I think, and I'm like, if I started, let's say at 15, dressing how I want to dress and just like stopped caring what people think, where would I be right now? Like I would theoretically be how I'm going to be dressed at like, I don't know, like 30 or something. Because I had that time in. I was already just not caring what people thought. You know, and I think that's the bottom line here, is that a lot of the times when we tell ourselves something is reserved for the future version of ourselves, it's really just an excuse because we're too scared to do it right now. And it's like, you're not going to do it right now. And you're not going to do it then because you're not ready yet. You'll never be ready. You look at it in terms of like, I'll do it then because I'll be ready then. But reality says, I don't know why I said reality says as if I'm reality. But like, the truth of the matter is, you're not going to be ready then either. It's not like you're going to be like, I have this, I graduated uni, I am now smart enough or cool enough to start wearing the shoes I want to wear. No, you're still going to feel so goofy the first time you put them on. Want to know why? Because you made a big deal out of it. Now you made a big deal out of the shoes, and it's way more of a thing than if you just threw on those shoes because you liked them the first time you saw them. When you act off intuition, you get to become who you want to be when you have society stripped away. We look at these things and we don't want to do them, or we put off doing them because we know we're going to be bad at them, or because, we feel we're not ready. And boil it down. Like, who says we're not ready for them yet? Because, one, I think it's a lot of the times ourselves. I think a lot of the times we say we're not ready because we're scared of failing. We're scared of, being ourselves sometimes. I don't know. I think that's something I've heard a lot, that people are scared to be themselves. Like, not so much scared in terms of, like, they're going to be judged, but scared in terms of, like, they're like, they want to be themselves, but they're scared to actually get there for some reason. I don't know how much I like that idea, but I think it happens. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense to me because I think we're more scared of being judged for being ourselves, and we're scared of being ourselves. But I do think that it's, like, true. I don't know. That's a side tangent, I suppose. And, the bottom line here is really just be who you want to be right now. Because you know what's going to happen realistically. Like, let's talk realistically here. Because you're thinking, or I was thinking, this is all about me mainly, but, like, I hope that some of you relate to this. This is a thing I'm doing again where I have an emotion on my own and I'm putting it out there in hopes that a lot of other people feel it too. I don't come off as completely insane. But the last time I did this, I'm pretty sure I came off completely insane. I'm pretty sure, because what I've always thought is, like, okay, I'm not that unique of a guy. Like, it's not like I have these, like, energy thoughts coming to me where it's like, oh my god, I'm thinking this for the first time of anyone ever. Like, none of us are. So it's like, okay, when I think something, I should share it. Because, like, I'm sure there's a bunch of other people that are thinking it too that maybe won't say it because they think it's a little weird, or maybe they just don't, haven't voiced it or anything like that. So I was like, okay, that's that's good. That's what I should do. But then the last time I did it, nobody said anything. I asked one of my friends about it too, and he was like, oh yeah, I saw that. Like, he was just like, yeah, no, I checked it out. Yeah. It was whatever. Yeah, nah, it's cool. And I was like, oh, like, oof. Like, seems I was alone on that one. But I do think this is something more of us do, because, I can't count how many times I've had a friend or someone say to me, like, okay, I'm doing this right now, starting at X time, I'm gonna do that thing I really want to do, that I want to do, I'm gonna start doing it then. And then, like, that time comes, and either they don't do it, or they, like, halfway do it, like, they never actually finish it. And it's like, oh, like, you were just never gonna do that. Like, you were too scared to do it, and it wasn't so much that you were waiting for the right time, it's that you were just putting it off simply, And then I was like, oh, that's what I do with myself. Like, this is what I'm doing when I say, I'm gonna start dressing this way, when I am, more successful, or when I feel that I've earned it. And of course, this doesn't apply to anything. There's a lot of really realistic ways in which you can, if you're like, I'm gonna start wearing this type of clothing when I reach my, is it weight goal? Your weight loss goal? I don't know the term. Like, when I reach my ideal weight, I'll start wearing these clothes. That makes sense. When I have the money to, I'll go and I'll backpack around France. Totally, that makes sense, right? But a lot of these things aren't so much external as they're very internal. You know, I remember I had a friend come to me once. He was like, I really want to start dressing in the way I want to dress in business wear, but I feel like everyone's going to make fun of me or think I'm too serious. And it's like, no, do it. 100% do it. Because if you're going, I'm not going to dress in business wear until I get to the office, you know what? You're going to put it on that first day and you're going to feel just as dumb as you do right now. Because you built it up, you know? We all got to be who we want to be right now. Because realistically, it's not so much that you're going to be that person. It's not like you're going to like choose to be as cool. It's that you're going to mess up when you start doing something at first. You always do. I always do. I always mess up when I start doing something. And you want to mess up now. Choose right now. Like choose just directly, right? You are going to ski this weekend. You can either mess up right now and be really good at skiing this weekend, or you can not do anything right now and wait, but you might not have the hill near you. Bad example. Bad example. You get what I mean, though. You're either choosing to be bad at this thing in the future when you really want to do it, or when you're imagining it's going to be really cool, or you can choose to be bad at it right now and actually see that image that you have in your head of you in the future come to life. And that, I've never had it happen to me, but I can only assume it's a really cool thing when you imagine something and then it really happens. I can only think, I can only imagine it's a really cool thing. But yeah, that's all. Just start being you. Start doing the things you want to do. Stop caring about what other people think. Maybe sometimes these are more pep talks myself than anybody else, but hey, I hope somebody relates to it. This is the painting. I just got paint on my fingers, like a really big glob of paint, but I redid the setup over here, which is why I was able to put the palette down for once and just actually not have to worry about juggling a million things in this tiny little cube that I decided to do Paint&Talk in. But I forgot to put a rag there, so now I have to deal with this. But this is the painting. This is it. And it is basically, right, so one, I did pencil lines. I'm sure you all saw I did pencil lines because I want to try and just practice getting really clean lines here. Is it good, like, in terms of the line work? Not really, to be honest. I didn't do great, but it's better than what I've done before in terms of doing clean line work, so we'll take it. We take those, right? But what I want to do here was I want to show, like, the future seems like this light at the end of a tunnel, right? But if you think about it, that tunnel that you're looking down is already a light at another tunnel. Like, you right now is the you that you were thinking about 5 or 6 years ago that you thought, like, oh, that's going to be so hard, that's never going to come, and you're here right now. So maybe you, at the light at the end of this tunnel, already sitting there right now, you just need to start acting like it. That's the concept for this painting. It'd be really cool if it came out good, right? Like, that'd be sick if that came out good, but it didn't, so we're here now. Go check it out on the Instagram with descriptions and all that good stuff, and until tomorrow, guys, gals, and pals, my name is Max Dice, and Paint and Talk, episode 63, every morning, painting and talking with you all.